Councilor Pelletier, Seaside Gas Station Status Report. Request brief update on status of Seaside Gas Station project and discussion of logical next steps to keep project moving. Approval of amendments of Seaside Gas Ad Hoc Committee to include a representative from Open Space.
Yes, thank you. This agenda request got a little garbled, but it wasn't that I wanted to ask for a brief update. It was that I was going to give a brief update. And I'm actually going to have Trish come up here with me in a minute. Not up here, but up here. So the Seaside Gas Ad Hoc Committee has met twice in a formal meeting and once as a sort of a site visit. We went out to Grinnell's Beach, the gas station, and the Stonebridge Abutment. And we're moving pretty well. We're gathering a lot of data. We're refining our laundry list of assumptions. And I think Peter is here too. I just saw. Oh, so we have Peter, we have Mark, we have Trish, and we have Susan, who are on that committee, and they can correct me if I misspeak. The first thing I want to just talk about briefly, and I thought I would have internet access in this building, but I don't, so I can't project the images on the screen. But the council all has a packet that I handed out, or Nancy handed out. And I wanted to just, these are photographs of the area, and actually they're the abutment, but it all ties in. So I wanted to just briefly walk you through these. The first photograph is a photograph as of November of 2012. This is roughly when the riprap work was done. And you can sort of just see to the west of the town dock, there are 3 or 4 gentlemen in hard hats arranging riprap and breaking up concrete and things. So that's as of end of 2012. The next photograph, number 2, is as of December of 2014. And that is the repair. That's the riprap repair. This area of collapsed north wall was repaired, and a bit of riprap, and it's probably 25 to 30 feet long, was put in place. The railing is kind of hanging off the edge there, and the sidewalk is crumbling, as you can see. Photo 3 is that railing as of Wednesday of last week, and the sidewalk and the wall, the north wall. It has since the end of 2014, as December 2014, and I estimate by the amount of garbage and stuff that's there, it probably happened February, March-ish. It collapsed again into the basin. And number 4 is, if you turn it sideways, that is the cumulative view of the collapse. It's as long as the original collapse. And what is holding it from collapsing further, believe it or not, appears to be the town dock. So if you look back at the old photo, the town dock there's a collapse all the way up to the first sheet pile driven in. So that's probably now about 50 feet. Picture number 5 is, and actually, yeah, picture number 5, and I say it's holding up because in front of, directly south of the town dock, on the pavement, there is no more sidewalk in that section. There is a hole that has developed since the beginning of the summer that is 8 feet deep. It's 10 foot round, and up until about 2 weeks ago, it was a solid hole. I was there tonight before I came over. It's open to daylight now, and the water is getting in the bottom of that hole. Number 5 is the big hole. This hole is 8 feet deep. It goes all the way down to the water below. It's 11 feet north to south, and it's crumbling actively. I put marks on the pavement every so often because I'm a nerd, and it is actively crumbling into the water. It's 17 feet across, and it has exposed 3 of the north wall concrete keys. I don't think you can see them. Nope. Oh, you can see the edge in picture number 6. There's a little bit of the concrete key left in the upper left-hand corner. It's essentially a concrete block with fingers on it that hold the wall in when the bridge is together. And you can see them. There are 3 of them. They're totally exposed. You could, I mean, I couldn't, I'm not that strong, but someone could push that wall section over into the water. I'm not an engineer, but it is scary. So I just wanted you to see those, because in a matter of less than 12 months, we went from a stabilized north wall with no gigantic sinkholes to now a deteriorated wall section. And I'm sure, I mean, looking at this picture, it's obvious that the wall section would have fallen down because there's nothing holding the bottom rocks in place anyway. But what happens is in the wintertime, the water comes in and the wind pushes it right into that corner, and it just erodes and erodes and erodes and erodes. So that's why this is scary to the people on this committee, because if the stone bridge, excuse me, if the stone bridge abutment goes away, Tiverton loses its harbor, Tiverton loses Grinnell's beach, Tiverton loses the protection. It's going to alter the flow of wildlife. It's going to alter the current flow. It's going to do a lot of weird things that we haven't even imagined yet. And it's just going to be a mess. This was important 2 years ago. It was imperative that we get it done a year ago. And now, really, we are very concerned about this. So that leads us into Seaside. Very brief update. Trish, do you want to come up? Trish is the...
He can barely speak, so...
Trish is the chair, and she's been doing a wonderful job. And we've collected a tremendous amount of data, and we've talked to everybody that will listen to us, from CRMC to Save the Bay, to state legislators, to federal legislators, to literally anyone who will pick up the phone and talk to us or answer an email. Do you have anything to add that I've forgotten or can't get out of my stupid mouth?
Oh, there we go. Brett's really taken the lead. I don't know how much he wants to update you, but he's reached out to our legislators, both our state legislators and as well as some of our federal representatives, because of course the big portion of the funding of this is in fact federal dollars. We have been offered a partnership with Save the Bay, which I think is tremendous in working on this, and they've offered to act as advisors for us, first of all in the restoration of the beach, and frankly there isn't anybody else in the state who knows as much about beach reclamation and restoration as they do. They also have great relationships with CRMC and DEM, and that's extremely helpful for us too. As a matter of fact, they've offered to set up a site visit with CRMC, hopefully the last week in October, so that we can begin some preliminary discussions about what CRMC would entertain in terms of beach restoration and other amenities there. So I think that those are good things. The third big piece of this that we're really working on is looking for funding. We've already identified one grant which Mark completed the application for funds that could be used to address septic issues, as well as any other stormwater runoff issues there. But we're continuing to look for sources of grant money. That's another place where Save the Bay is can be very helpful with it for us, because they know where this grant money is. They have experience with municipalities and helping them apply for it. So those are really some of the big things that we're working on. But to Brett's point, in the absence of the abutment itself, all of this is a completely moot exercise. So we really do need to find a way to get the DOT to commit to us in terms of when they actually will begin the repair project. We've been told anecdotally off the record that the way the system works is that if the DOT isn't ready to go out to bid on this project in the late December, early January timeframe, that it will not happen in 2016. And we're not that far away from that.
Yeah, so that's, and I think this resolution, I'm sure, is not going to be a surprise to anyone that Matt has drafted, especially at DOT, because just by way of update, I called every one of our state reps and state senators, and I also called or reached out to Congressman Cicilline's office. Because it is federal funds, I just said, I'm going to call anybody who will listen to me and try and actually I got a response from DOT, which was kind of snarky, but I'll take it. And it said, we've received your request in duplicate and we are drafting a response and we'll let you know when it's done. So, hey, at least they're listening and they understand. You know, it is getting, I think it takes getting one engineer down to the abutment to look at it and to say, yeah, I mean, this is serious business. And it does inform the conversation we have about Grinnell's Beach and the Seaside Gas. And we also have, you know, on our panel, a talented architect who has been helping us to define our own needs and our own desires and our own scope of work, to try and create a presentation that we can bring to the council that is as professional friendly, you know, without getting into too much detail, but as ready to rock and roll and ready to write grants and ready to solicit funds and things like that. So we're excited about the work we're doing, and it's a diligent group. They're all very energized about this work. And I'm happy to answer any questions. This was our monthly update because we are supposed to make monthly updates. But I wanted to take that opportunity to show you those photographs because it really is an extraordinarily important component to the work we're doing at the Seaside Gas Committee.